of seeing Sentai. I'm Mars Girl. We're at the very tail end of Denshi Sentai Denjiman, looking at the final 2 episodes, episodes 50 and 51. I can hardly believe we made it all the way here, and we're right here at the end of 2015. If you're a Patreon contributor watching it on New Year's Eve, Happy New Year for the rest of you seeing it in a couple of days. Happy 2016, glad to see you guys again, and I'm excited to be moving into a new Super Sentai series here in just this next week. But I don't want to jump the gun, let's go ahead and talk about these last 2 episodes, because there's a lot to talk about in them. Much like in the tail end of the last few episodes that you might have heard me talk about in the last video, Demon King Ban Liki has taken over the Vader Clan. It's a real big to-do, and nobody in the Vader Clan likes it. The Queen is pissed off, she doesn't have her seat, and Ban Liki has his Ban Liki monster. He's just, tearing through stuff, you know? So Ban Liki's monster is causing major chaos and destruction. There's a lot more chaos and destruction going on than there has been previously, and nobody can really identify why. Ban Liki forces General Headroor back down to Earth to try and battle the Denjiman, which really Headroor is happy to do. He's just pissed that he's doing it under the namesake of Ban Liki, so he gets into one of the Vader Clan planes, and actually we start to see some caring and some compassion out of Queen Hedrion, who is really showing concern for the general. But the general goes down there, he's flying his ship, he's shooting his guns, and Red is out there driving around in his vehicle and shoots missiles up at him and shoots the general out of the sky, and you think, oh, well, surely he's dead. He hits the ground and his ship explodes, and Red actually protects him, and Ban Liki is like, why did you protect me? Kill me! And he doesn't understand the compassion that Red has, because Red can tell that the general is actually a dude filled with honor, despite the fact that he's on the wrong side. But the general escapes, goes back up to the Vader Clan ship where Ban Liki is, and begs for him to give him another chance, because he really wants to defeat the Denjiman, but Ban Liki doesn't give him that opportunity. Ban Liki goes down there himself with Ban Liki Monster, and just when they're about to finish off the Denjiman, General Headroor has begged his queen, alright, give me this sword, I want to give my life in servitude to you, and attempt to finish off the Denjiman myself. I want that to be my dying honor. And she looks saddened by that, but she lets him go through with it anyway. So he gets down there to Earth, and he's like, hey, the one who's gonna beat them is me! And then he gets giant, so they have to call out Denjiman, and they fight him, and they do cut him in half and blow him up, but they do give him a standing salute there in the cockpit of Denjiman, and Red even contemplates on his past with General Headroor, and I really did like the general. He was a really good character. It's a shame he had to die, but we all knew he had to die. And that puts us into the final episode, episode 51, where things are still going haywire, the monster's still causing all of this destruction. The only thing they can possibly do is just immediately bring out Denjiman. Denjiman comes out, they're trying to fight him, but they can't seem to win for some reason. Ban Liki Monster has too much power, and they can't figure out why, so they have to escape, which in and of itself is kind of a chore. And they get back, and they're like, we need to fix the robot, and we need spare parts, and Denji Dog I see is like, we don't have any spare parts. No spare parts! And apparently if they get back in the robot and try and fight with it all broken the way it is, the thing might, you know, get really super incredible damaged, and they might all blow up and die or something. So IC is like, no, I'm not gonna let you guys go out there. And they're pissed at him, and rightfully so, because Japan is just being laid to waste. Ban Liki's monster is just tearing through things, and it kind of makes you mad at IC also, and rightfully so. I mean, the Denjiman are pissed at him too. But at this point, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Everybody's pissed at Ban Liki, the Denjiman are pissed at Ban Liki, and the Vader Clan is pissed at Ban Liki, and so Queen Hedrion is like, well, I'm gonna stab him in the back, but it doesn't work because she, like, shouted before she tried to stab him. Maybe she shouldn't have done that. And so Ban Liki sees it coming, starts to throw some blades at her, and Keller steps in the way to protect her queen, and she dies in the process. And now Mirror, her partner in crime, kind of, is like, well, you know what? I'm on Ban Liki's side. He is the stronger one. and the queen is all freaked out. She gets thrown into the dungeon, but the whole thing is a big ruse so that Mirror can get information on what it is that Bon Liki's gonna do next. And she finds out that Bon Liki's monster's weak point is in its tail. So she then runs to the queen's cell, tells her this, turns herself into a crystal ball so that the queen can then use the crystal ball to communicate with Denji Dog IC and say, "The weak point is the tail." And so while the Denjimon are out there trying to fight on the ground and they're really not doing a good job, Denji Dog IC is like, "Alright, I'm gonna get in the robot. I'm gonna pilot the robot out there to them, and I'm gonna tell them, hey, the weak point is the tail," which he does, and you're like, well, why is this working? Why do you get to pilot the thing and not have it explode? Okay, well, we're getting to that, alright? So he lets them get into the robot, which we all thought was going to, injure them terribly, and they managed to pilot it, and they manage to damage the tail, and they manage to kill Bon Liki monster, and then Bon Liki is pissed, and you're thinking, oh man, there's gonna be this big ol' awesome final battle against Bon Liki. But really, there's not. Bon Liki goes in to confront the queen, whom he knows is probably the reason why his monster has been defeated, and Mirror is still in the form of a crystal ball, and she does this big ol' flash, and Bon Liki's blinded, and now he can't see anything, and he thrashes around, and he hits Mirror, killing her, so the queen is all that's left of the Vader Clan, and she's, heartbroken and stuff. And Bon Liki is thrashing around all blind, and he goes down to Earth, thrashing around all blind, and all it takes is for the Denjimon to come together to use Denji Boomerang, which they've been using since episode 1, and that blows Bon Liki up, and he's destroyed, and wow, it's kinda disappointing. So then they have to go up to the Vader Clan ship, and they're like, alright, we're gonna destroy the Vader Clan, we're gonna get the queen, but they get up there, and nobody's freaking up there. Then, this hologram of the queen shows up in her royal chair, and she's like, all my friends are dead, I'm the only one left, but you haven't defeated me, and then she goes poof, and she disappears, and in fact, you'll see, I did do some reading ahead, that character, not just the actress, but that character is gonna show up again in the next season in Sun Vulcan. So she gets away, and so nobody won. The Denjimon did not win. They beat Bon Liki, but they didn't beat the Vader Clan, and in fact, she comes back, and a whole new team has to clean up their mess starting next week. You guys suck! What happened? They get back to Denji Land, where they're trying to be like, hey, IC! We're sorry we weren't listening to you, but we did the thing, and thanks for helping us. Hey, where are you, IC? And they can't find him, and they check the robot, and in the robot, I guess, Denji Dog IC's consciousness has now combined with Denjin, which was the only way that it was going to function and not explode, I guess. So now there is no corporeal Denji Dog form. There is no more dog. His consciousness is just in the robot. And everybody's really sad about it. And granted, they're not trying to talk to him. They treat him like he's dead, and maybe he kinda is. I don't know whether they can talk to him or not. I just know they don't freaking try. And then they treat him like he's dead, and they give him a soccer tournament in his name, with the cup having the face of the dog on it, and the banner having the face of the dog on it. He's only kinda dead, guys! What are you doing? And that's where it ends. I guess they just stopped being Denjimon because they figure, well, there's no more Bon Liki, and the queen of the Vader Clan, Queen Hedrion, is gone for now, so I guess we just won't worry about it anymore. That's over. No! No, your job's not done! I know it's the end of the series, but your job's not freaking done! What is wrong with you people? But there it is. The series is over. It's a better rounded out ending than pretty much all the previous Sentai series have been. However, it's not a satisfying ending because the bad guy got away. And the bad guy's going to come back. Granted, she's not the leader of the next evil organization, but she's part of it. She comes back! Come on! Oh. what else can I say about it? That's really about the extent of it. I'm glad that we were able to get through this franchise, this series. I'm glad that we were able to do that together. And I'm really excited to be talking about Sun Vulcan in the coming days. And in fact, if you look really hard, and as usual, I'm not going to tell you where to look, but you look really hard, which actually isn't all that hard, you're going to be able to find all of Sun Vulcan subtitled into English by people who are not professionals, but at least you get the full scope of the story. So good luck to you in that. Not gonna tell you where to go, but that's what we're tackling next. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the entirety of Denshi Sentai Denjiman. Really looking forward to the things to come. Thank you to the Patreon contributors over at patreon.com/MarsGirl. Please look into it if you'd like to look into some of the reward tiers, if you'd like to see your name in the credits, or if you'd like for me to do a request review for you, I would love to do that for you at patreon.com/MarsGirl. Be looking forward to seeing you guys in 2016. Have a good one.